Before I talk about the subject of this recording, I want to point out that just last week I went to court and they summoned me. I didn't go to court, actually. I refused to go to court because I don't trust our government, and I won't go to the court because they're not looking for anyone's best interest. They're following policies, and everyone knows that's true. So I'm not going to go to the court because they're not going to listen to anything I say. All they're going to do is wonder about how much money I make and whether I was supposed to be going because my son Oliver is 18 and graduated now, and they were going to take him off the support order, which I don't care if I give them money. They don't need my money. I want to be their father and do things with them. If that requires money, then I guess I'm just living in a weird world where it takes money to care about somebody. But I didn't go to the courthouse, and they called me, so we did this over the phone thing. And originally, Jen, my ex-wife, said that she wasn't really going for anything. We just thought he was going to be taken off. She had text messaged me back, and I said, "Okay, cool. I trust you to do whatever is right for everybody." You know, I even said something along those lines. And then when they called, they asked me how much I made, and I told them that I refused to work a job for a government anymore just to pay money to people who refuse to come see me. When I'm not being mean or rude or yelling at anybody, I'm saying this kind of stuff because it's the truth. They're literally choosing not to come see me for no reason. Because maybe it's not fun to hang out with somebody who wants to help you get healthy and use your mind because I see you unhappy. Now, this goes into people like my brother, my mom, my dad. Like they're doing with what they have. They're making do. And that's fine. You know, like say even like far off old teachings and ancient practices teach you to clear your mind and not focus on anything and not worry about your desires and all that kind of stuff, which that's fine. When we had a world where people were more animalistic and primal, and they were still doing things that harmed others more on purpose than before. Now we just have powerful people doing worse things on purpose than before. So my parents and my brother are making do, and that's the best they can do. And I just want to help. The problem is, I literally say this. I can help anybody, but they have to actually come to me and ask me, and then listen to what I say. Not just nod their head and go about doing their normal everyday activities, which are the reason that they're depressed or unhappy or just making do. I'm not talking about any way to go make money. I'm talking about a way to cure your soul from ever being unhappy. When you purposely apply it, it will work. There's times where you're going to be crabby because you're being your ego still. And I don't expect anyone to shed their ego right away anyway. But this is where weird other things come into. Like, since I'm on the topic of what ancient people would say, let's say even the new modern day gurus, you know, they say stuff, I wouldn't say more modern day, and it's not really a guru. I think Terence McKenna is quite an awesome dude. And he talks about DMT and shrooms and stuff like that. And I've done shrooms in my life. I've never physically, as Dan Alexander, done DMT. But as odd as this may sound to say, I am the DMT goddess. I am Mother DMT. I met and am and can experience that level of intensity with ease whenever I want to. But I have to apply the practice that I know works. And I don't do that very much anymore because what I learned from it, nobody receives because they're dumbing down more and more every day on purpose. I say this all the time, but it's the truth. People are dumbing themselves down on purpose because they want things to be easy. They don't want to struggle for anything. Nobody wants to struggle for somebody else, but if you're struggling or challenging, rather, yourself to better yourself, you're doing a great thing and overcoming obstacles that are what it requires to get somewhere. So when you have these old ancient practices talking about losing your desire, that worked when it was primal. Now we're at a point where we know what's going wrong. There aren't any conspiracies. The conspiracy, if you think there's a conspiracy or know there's a conspiracy, you know that there's something going on. Those words are just used way too much. If you just say it's there and allow it, then you're sort of adding to it by not making more effort to put that as a priority in your life. If that's not a priority, everything that's going on in your life means nothing because you're captive by somebody else. If you're working 40-hour weeks or working any job to pay taxes and pay rent and pay shit like that, you shouldn't have to. People are compassionate enough now where enough people know how to build houses enough people know how to supply solar power, run cars off of steam and water and electric, than ever doing anything toxic. But we continue to do it. And when I point these obvious things out, people say, oh, but what will we do with all the stuff we have? It doesn't matter what we would do with all the stuff we have. We start slowly seeing what happens when we apply ourselves to making that change. That's what we do. Now, what I was saying at first about the child support thing, I never even finished saying it. It wasn't supposed to go up. But instead, they ran numbers off of my job because I said I wasn't going to work for a government. Because it makes no sense. Everyone may do it because that's what they've always done. But that's just agreeing with slaves, being slaves, and letting yourself be one. It doesn't make any damn sense at all. I can't do it because I'm acting. If I go out and have to work a job, putting on a name tag and a badge or anything like that, or certify myself or qualify myself, I know that that's me acting. Like I have to be something that somebody else requires me to be. Can't anyone see that as being the fact? Everyone tells you you have to qualify. Everyone tells you that you have to do this in order to be able to have that. No, you don't. It's not a world like that anymore. Things are going to be given to you for free and handed out because everyone won't have them just free and handed out. They have to learn how to do it themselves. That's what this spiritual journey is for you to be truly free and learn how to be one with the world you're in. That's what it's for. Not to lose yourself worrying about money, listening to rulers, listening to anybody tell you anything that's popular and trendy. Doing any of that is letting yourself be a slave. And if you don't see that, you're just a fool. The more you're taking the vaccines and listening to what they say, the more you're being brainwashed and trusting people that are brainwashing you. Even the ones that are doing it thinking they're doing a good job, they're getting their reports from people who are brainwashing. Yes, there are horrible things that happen that people do cover. Those are just additives. Those make the fake things seem more real when real things are added. People have to start getting this. But that's really all I wanted to say for now, except for the fact about Terence McKenna. I've already felt all those things. There's nothing wrong. You see gurus saying that you shouldn't use marijuana, you shouldn't use acid, or you shouldn't use mushrooms. If it's a natural thing that grows, you're telling us what we should use in order to better our bodies, because you've heard other people teach you that, and you tried it, and it worked for you. Now let's see. You've also heard that these things may malfunction your brain. I would say some people, yes. People who are conscious, no. If they do it too much, yes. If they do it consciously, no. That's the issue that I have with people not fully explaining themselves. You have to fully explain what you mean. I wouldn't say some dude who's mentally handicapped, give him 5 ounces of mushrooms and say, here you go. I would say you work them on focus first. And as things go on, those little amounts, like a half a gram, would help them focus and concentrate on reality as it really is, not as we're teaching it to people. And that would help them in ways that nobody would understand. It would also help to get them to do meditation classes and stuff way before, for months and months and years even before. But at that point, I'm saying that with those little minor, tiny bits of psychedelics, they can boost it. I wouldn't say give them a full-blown dose of anything. But at the same time, I myself don't need it. If they would sit down and be able to concentrate and listen to me, those things wouldn't be needed. I could help them unleash that stuff out of their body instantly after maybe a 15-minute practice. And a 15-minute practice is all it would take for me to help anyone start on the path of curing themselves. I'm not saying I'm healing everybody instantly. I'm showing them what they can do with persistence to help themselves heal themselves of anything. Fear of death, even aging at a fast process. You can reverse how fast you age by doing this. But you have to practice it. You have to believe it. You have to apply it. Or else it's just something that someone told you that you're not listening to. So that's all I'm going to say for today. Until next time, peace. I love you all.